Anatomical directional terms. Directional language of an anatomy exists in order to minimize confusion when discussing areas or specific points on the body. This directional language or terminology is used to reference to the anatomical position. The anatomical position is when a person stands direct, face forward, arms at the sides, palms facing forward, and feet also pointing forward. If everyone is looking at the body in the exact same position, there will be less confusion when discussing anything related to anatomy. We're gonna start with the superior and inferior. Superior means towards the head, but it can also means upper or above. Inferior means towards the feet, but it can also means lower or below. So we would say the heart is located superior to the small intestine, or we can say the small intestine is located inferior to the heart. Next is anterior and posterior. Anterior means farther to the front or in the front of. Posterior means farther to the back or in the back of. So we would say sternum is anterior to the heart, and the heart is posterior to the sternum. Sometimes the terms ventral and dorsal are used in place of anterior and posterior, where ventral means anterior and dorsal means posterior. Anterior and posterior can also be used to describe how you're looking at the body, while the body will always be referenced from the anatomical position. It can be viewed from an anterior view, meaning looking at the body from the front. It can also be viewed from the posterior view, meaning looking at it from the back. Medial and lateral are another set of directional terms. Medial means toward the midline of the body, and lateral means toward the side of the body or away from the midline of the body, where the midline is the imaginary line that divides the body into left and right halves. So we would say the heart lies medial to the lungs, or you could say that the lungs lies lateral to the heart. Lateral can also be used to describe how you're looking at the body. While the body will always be referenced from the anatomical position, it can be viewed from a lateral view, meaning looking at the body from the side. Next is proximal and distal. Proximal and distal are terms that are usually used when describing parts of the appendicular body. Remember that the axial body consists of the head, neck, and trunk, and the appendicular body consists of the limbs or appendages that are added to the axial body. Proximal means closer to the axial body or towards the trunk of the body, and the distal means farther from the axial body or farther from the trunk of the body. So we would say the thigh is proximal to the foot, or you could say the foot is distal to the thigh. Superficial and deep are another sets of directional terms. Superficial means closer to the surface of the body, and deep means farther from the surface of the body. So let's say the sternum is superficial to the lungs, and the lungs are deep to the sternum. Remember, this is the case we were looking at the body from the front or anterior view, when it's in anatomical position, and that be the anatomical directional terms.